Oh, I don't know what's wrong with my camera. That for some reason it keeps wanting to stop. No, the fuzzy screen is not a problem with my camera. I've made some changes to my channel, and I'm kind of looking for a new persona right now. I don't want my face on it any longer, and there's reasons for that. But what I am going to tell you is this is advice to new people that are coming in here as atheists and making videos, and some of the older ones that do this stuff, but I don't, it's kind of too late for a lot of them. But you have to come to the realization that you're dealing with people on here that don't like you because of what you believe. And a lot of them will threaten you, threaten to kill you or do other things because of what you believe. And you have to realize that crazy is not an isolated incident, and on here it's more. There are so many crazy people on YouTube. You think it's funny to deal with these people, and I used to make a lot of reply videos to these people and try and talk sense into them, and really there's no point. Crazy's crazy. You're not going to talk sense into crazy people. But furthermore, you're antagonizing someone who may not know the difference between right and wrong, that may not care, that may just be so crazy that they don't understand. But regardless, you have to realize that you are putting personal information out there. You're putting your face out there. If you link it to other accounts, you're putting personal information out there. And when you deal with these people, they can go in there and find that stuff out. And guess what? If you're linking it to the right accounts, they have pictures of your children, your loved ones, things like that. You don't think that these people are going to do this stuff because personally you wouldn't go do it yourself. But guess what? There are examples I can give you of YouTubers killing other YouTubers over stupid stuff. So it's not like it doesn't happen. It may happen a small percentage at a time, but it still happens. So you're putting yourself at risk, but what's even worse is you're putting other people at risk just because they know you. And I've blurred myself out for several reasons, one of which is family. I'm not really in the closet about being an atheist, but I don't go around telling my family that I'm atheist either. I'm sure a lot of them know, but there are some of them that actually, to be quite honest, if they knew, I would possibly be afraid. I have crazy people in my family, and I'm not going to name names, but there are certain ones that I would fear knowing that information, because quite frankly I know what they think and about people who don't believe what they believe. So but what I'm saying here is you need to protect yourself. And I can tell you, I really admire Logic. I've been watching his videos, and I like what he does. But, I mostly like the persona that he's made, and I don't know, I may do something along, I've been thinking about doing something along those lines, sort of, for my channel, but sooner or later it's going to change, and right now I don't have a lot of time to make videos because I'm going to school and doing homework a lot, so I don't have a lot of time to do stuff. But my point here is that if you haven't thought about this, you might want to think about it before your channel gets big. And I'm not going to say that it's a difference between male and female on here, but you're more likely as a male to have these problems than you are as a female, to a small extent. I do know female atheists on here who have had their lives threatened, and I think pretty much every atheist on here has had their lives threatened. I mean, mine's been threatened multiple times. A guy who claimed to be an ex-cop threatened to do serious damage to me over a video that was about guns. And if you've noticed, I've gone and taken most of my videos off of here. And again, like I said, I've thought about going a different direction with the channel. I've thought about just getting rid of the channel altogether and starting a new channel and doing something along the lines of what, you know, Logic or some of those other people have done. I believe it's Theoretical Dinosaur. I kind of like what he does too. You know, you never see some of these people. You never see their faces. They just put up slides. And I've thought about doing stuff like that, but I used to do a lot of stuff, and I don't know if I've mentioned this yet or not in this video because my camera's gone crazy on me a couple times. But what really bothered me, and one of the reasons I stopped making videos on here, was I was having a discussion with somebody one day, and they used my name. And I don't use my name on this channel. I don't have my name on this channel. It is for, you know, the signing up of it, but any other place. But it was linked to other sites that did have my personal information on it, and I realized that person had basically gone and checked me out. And that made me extremely nervous because that person threatened me, and they had my personal information. So that was kind of where I slowed down a little bit. Plus, you know, I had got back to work, and I was working 7 days a week, so it was hard to make videos. But I'm not going to let some jackass scare me off. But at the same time, it does make you realize that when you start putting this information out there, people can use it any way they want. And there's a lot of services out there that don't really care about your security as much as you think they do. They'll let you post pretty much anything you want about yourself, you know. And when you start putting yourself out there, especially as an atheist, people are they're gonna try and damage you. I mean, that's all there is to it. And you're giving them the ability to do that. And you have to realize, as an atheist, you belong to one of the most hated groups, at least in the United States, if not the world. You know, you start looking at the statistics on people not liking atheists and all that, it gets kind of scary. But when you start really looking at it, and look at some of the past on YouTube of what has happened to certain atheists on here, you know, you should rethink having your face on YouTube and saying the things that you're saying. And I don't know, I'm not saying that you should stop, because I believe that we need more atheists to be outspoken, but you're going to put yourself at risk. And I'm just saying you should minimize that risk as much as possible. You should find a way to keep that risk to a minimum. Because quite frankly, there are a lot of religious people on here who will interpret their Bible in ways where killing you is not a problem. And of course, people will tell you those aren't real Christians and those aren't real whatever, so on and back forth. But it doesn't change the fact that they might want to hurt you and they might justify it. But, you know, I was talking to 9/11 people on my channel quite a bit too. And I will tell you, there's some pretty nice people. I mean, you know, you got to realize all the way around, there's some pretty nice Christians out there. There's actually some pretty nice Muslims out there. There's some pretty nice truthers out there. But the people that I got threats from, the truthers overall were a much higher margin. I'd say probably 50% of the theists I've argued with have threatened me in one way or another. But I would say it was probably 75 to 80% of the 9/11 truthers who did that same thing. And so, you know, I'm just saying you should try and protect yourself a little bit on here. and think about what you're doing, because you're, like I say, you're putting yourself in a position, and family members in a position, and they may know what you look like, and you may never know what they look like, and you'll never see them coming if that's what they decide to do. So I'm just saying, you should think about it, and you should definitely think about how you're putting your information out there when you belong to a group. The hatred of atheists is so easily seen. Go to Coctopus Prime's channel and look at his videos on Fox. We're talking about a news organization that shows how much they hate a particular group of people. You can see it in the reports that they do that are pertain to that. And of course, Fox is not a real news channel. Come on, they got Bill O'Reilly on there. They're not a real news channel. But still, it doesn't matter. You need to protect yourself from crazy people. And that's where I'm going to end my little rant. But anyway,